shock. This is Bulletcast for life.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You know the name, you know the voice, you know why I'm here. But just in case if you don't, I'm the Podfather. I'm an instant classic. I'm a 23-year-old piece of gold, and I'm the current reigning, defending, undisputed Bulletcast champion. Just like Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roddy Strong, and Adam Cole, baby. This title reign is hashtag forever undisputed. For life, brother. I'm joined by my tag team partner. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the creator of the award-winning Under the Radar. He's a 4-time Bulletcast champion. Hell, goddammit, he's the first ever Bulletcast champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the creator of curveballs and chair shots, the Canadian Destroyer, Brandon. How's it going, buddy?
It's going good. Got extra get up today.
Hey, man. You know, last week we were in that little room, and I didn't feel like I performed like I should have last week. But just to let you guys know, that opening performance was better than the Rams in the Super Bowl. Just going to let you know.
The Rams' defense was pretty good.
I didn't even watch it. All I hear about is this Adam Levine and this halftime show. Look, you should have been watching Halftime Heat. Adam Cole, a million times better than Adam Levine. Just letting you know right now. Plus, no halftime show beats my boy Michael. Was it Super Bowl 27? Early 90s, or Prince in 2007? Or even, Beyonce and Bruno Mars, 2013. That was a good halftime show.
In Sync and Aerosmith. Still got that on VHS.
Oh, when was that?
I don't know, 2001, 2000.
Jesus.
Had it recorded on the VHS, because, you know, your boy loves In Sync. First ever concert he went to over at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum.
Really?
It's probably the only male there, but it's okay. It was a great time.
Really, you know, I'm a big Aerosmith guy. You know, Steven Tyler, "Dream On," probably my favorite song by Aerosmith. All right, let's jump into this. Today's the 2-year anniversary of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. 2 years ago today, I released an episode into the internet, and yeah.
And then the next one I came on, or the two episodes after that came on, and then, you know, it took off.
Yeah, he's the day 2-ish right here.
Yeah.
Right here. But you know, guys, we're making waves. You know, we've accomplished a little bit in this 2 years. You know, iHeartRadio getting on the 99.9 FM KW in Watsonville. We will be doing some partnerships with some collaborations here in the coming years. So we're moving along, guys. Hopefully we'll get the merch set up. I gotta find a distributor and somebody's willing to print on demand, because I know we're gonna sell out. Oh my God! All these designs we have, your design, mine. All these new designs. It's gonna be some good stuff. But let's hop into this performance-enhancing audio. Outside of the ring, AJ Styles signs a new deal with WWE. I do not know the logistics of this deal. I do not know exactly.
So is this confirmed? Because AJ went off on some reporter the other day saying that he signed a new deal, and he said, that's baloney.
I mean, there are sources. There are sources that say he...
You have to name your sources on this podcast, Philip.
I don't want to throw out names, man. I don't do that.
We name our sources, because if we don't name our sources, at least, you know, anonymously name our sources where they came from.
I mean, look...
Then we have no, you know...
Look, Ringside News, Wrestling DDT...
What the hell is that?
Maybe Bleacher Report. I'll throw them out
there.
Okay,
we're getting a little closer now. I know what Bleacher Report is. I don't know what those other two things were.
All right. They have commented on this. They've reported this. So, if this is the case that AJ has signed a new deal, where does that leave AEW?
It's not going to leave AEW in the dumps. We're going to talk about this a little later. Maybe we have a big name signings coming down the pipeline.
Oh yeah.
For AEW, but AJ seemingly, the rumor mill speculated that they threw out a huge deal for AJ, something that, you know,
absolutely
was maybe blown his original WWE contract out of the water. So, if he is signed with WWE, I'm not so sure about that yet. I'm not exactly saying he's going to AEW. If I think I was AJ, I think he has a pretty good deal with WWE. He maybe works a little bit less dates, but if you go to AEW, maybe you work even less dates and make as much money. So I think it all just comes down to what does AJ want to do personally. He's made enough money. He's had enough great matches. Maybe the dates is what I mean, kind of that's what happened with WCW. A lot of the guys didn't want to wrestle all those dates for less money, so maybe.
Look at WCW now.
Well, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that had to do with that before WCW went in the dumps. But I'm just saying, when WCW made all those jumps, a lot of the thing was, we're making more money with less dates. Maybe AJ would be one of those guys, and he has the connection with the Bucks, and not so much Cody, but some of the other guys in the former Bullet Club faction. So, who knows?
We shall see. Alright, Seth Rollins, the man who was set to challenge Brock Lesnar for the Universal title at WrestleMania 35. Apparently he's injured. He was left off of Raw. He hasn't been working live events. They say he was injured during that altercation with Brock the night after the Royal Rumble. What are your thoughts on this?
It could be big news. It doesn't seem as though it's a big injury to where he's going to be off TV for a substantial amount of time. It's a back injury, I believe, so it might hurt to walk. He might not be able to appear or fly or whatever. I don't exactly know what's going on, but it shouldn't be too much a detriment to WrestleMania. He's probably not going to be on Elimination Chamber. Who knows if he's going to be on Fastlane or whatever the hell the next pay-per-view is called. But I'm not too worried. It doesn't seem like it's that serious. And not to be frank, it wasn't like it was a big omission from Raw this week without Seth Rollins. It could have been better if he was on the show, but right now with Brock Lesnar not doing all of the dates that a normal wrestler would do, Seth would just kind of be out there spinning his wheels. It would have been a nice little promo to, talk about what happened last week, but we can just get that next week or the week after, whenever Seth Rollins comes back.
Yes, we shall. Alright, Jimmy Havoc, he joins AEW. I'm not really familiar with Jimmy Havoc. I can't wait to see what he's going to do. Maybe he'll be at the press conference later today.
Possibly. I'm not familiar with Jimmy Havoc's work as well. I've heard that he did a lot of good stuff over in the UK with Progress for a long time. It seems as though he's more of a hardcore wrestler, maybe a more sinister villain, or so. I don't exactly know what his character is. I'm excited to see what it is on the AEW scene. Maybe that just kind of shows that AEW might be a little bit more hardcore, a little more adult-oriented. Who knows, but good for them for getting a diverse array of talent.
Yeah, if you've seen Cody Rhodes' YouTube channel, Nightmare Family, he's doing kind of like what he did with All In, that whole little documentary thing going into that. He's doing that for Double or Nothing. And the announcement of Jimmy Havoc signing, he was like, we signed the talent that you don't really expect. So that's a perfect example here. Can't wait to see what Jimmy Havoc does in AEW. Now, there have been reports going around that a big WWE star is going to be jumping ship to AEW, and that wrestler's name has been thrown out there as Randy Orton.
I mean, I if you would have told me to list like the top 5 or top 10 wrestlers you would either want or expect to jump to AEW, I don't think Randy Orton would be on either one of those lists. I just kind of see him as a WWE guy, but Randy Orton is kind of an eccentric or a different fellow, so you don't exactly know where he's going. Maybe he doesn't like what they're doing with him in WWE. Maybe he sees the money being thrown around with less dates, and he just goes over there and does whatever the hell he wants. But I mean, Randy Orton going to AEW, is it that big of a move? Like, it's kind of like the same thing as Chris Jericho, maybe even a little bit less, just because Randy Orton might be a bigger name, but he doesn't have the same cachet with like the people who I think are going to be watching AEW initially, but you can get some of those casual people watching WWE who don't know anything about the Young Bucks or, New Japan or whatever. You can get those people to maybe jump over and check it out, but I think you might have that already with Chris Jericho, but it doesn't hurt to get in more talent.
On that Nightmare Family episode too, I don't know, their coordinator came in the room and said, "Hey Cody," and they bleeped the guy's name out, called again, and it looked like he said Randy Orton. I can't read lips, but it looked like that to me. But I don't think Orton would jump ship to all AEW. Apparently, he signed a 10-year deal in 2010. Apparently, I don't know how true that is. Rumors circulate that deal, if he did sign 10 years, that it expires January 31st of 2020. Now, would Orton going to AEW, that'd be a big deal? Yeah, I mean, it's Randy Orton. He's the legend killer who's become a legend in the making, or a legend in his own right. Honest to God, I'd pop to see Orton in AEW. Like, oh my God, RKO out of nowhere. all that other good stuff.
I mean, it's a big move just because it's one of those like WWE guys. It's not a lot of them in WWE right now. Like a lot of them have their roots in the indie scene, so you can see a lot of those guys possibly jumping over. But with like a John Cena or a Big Show or a Brock Lesnar or some of those like older guys who you've really just known being with WWE going over, who has no real ties to the Bucks or Cody. I think that'd be interesting. I mean, obviously there is the legacy factor with Cody and Orton. I don't know what kind of friendship they have there, if that has anything to do with this. You never know, but I don't expect Randy to go to AEW, honestly.
I don't expect it either. It'd be cool, but I don't see it. All right, the AEW ticket announce party is going to be happening today in a little under 3 hours. It's going to be happening 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can follow it on All Elite Wrestling, their Instagram. You can watch it live there, or being in the Elite will be broadcast live there. I think the real question is, Kenny Omega, does he make an appearance? Do they announce Kenny Omega's All In with All Elite Wrestling?
Maybe. I mean, probably by the time you're listening to this, the ticket announcement party's already happened, so you already know what has gone on, but we're just speculating. I don't think there's a lot of big news going to come out of this. Like, we're going to talk about this. Are they going to announce, like, a TV deal? I think it's just going to strictly be around Double or Nothing, the ticket announcements, so they're going to say when that goes on sale, all the information there. And I think Kenny will show up. I think Kenny will be there, and they'll do something, because I think, like, the ticker that they did last week, like, matches up with today. So I think they're going to do something with Kenny. Maybe another match or two announcement, but who knows?
We shall see, you know. There have been rumors that AEW, they were at Turner Network. They've been talking to Turner Network to get a possible TV deal. And, you know, Jericho said when he first signed with All Elite Wrestling that he wouldn't be down if there wasn't a big TV deal in the works. So that's going to be very interesting to see moving forward. Maybe they announce that today, like you just kind of mentioned. I don't know, but that ticket announcement part is going to be a pretty big deal, because I've seen stuff on Twitter and like AEW, they're not a wrestling company. All they've done is really sell T-shirts and announce a date. They haven't really done much, so this could be a big step into furthering the status of All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, with the Turner thing, it seems as though like ESPN and the Turner Network, either be TBS or TNT, are kind of the two destinations that AEW is probably going to land. If it was me, if I was AEW, I mean, there's the two different. I mean, you can go the sports route, or you can go like the prestigious cable network route with TBS or TNT. I think, obviously it has the WCW lineage with TBS and TNT, but if it was me, I think I would go to ESPN, just because I think you have more of a chance of grabbing some people, because if you get, like, you have Chris Jericho, maybe Goldberg does show up or something, but if you get, like, some sort of, and then it has the UFC thing as well, so on ESPN, so you can get some sort of crossover and some sort of synergy between everybody, and you can get some sports fans or some lapsed Attitude Era fans or wrestling fans in general to maybe, check it out and see, like, oh, okay, this is much different than what WWE is, and I'll check it out.
Yes, all of these are possibilities. I think the TV deal is probably the biggest thing. Like, where do they land? I know they that trademark was filed Tuesday Night Dynamite, so if they do get a TV deal, I guess it would take effect in October once SmackDown moves from Tuesday to Friday on Fox, and then they take that prime Tuesday night spot. I'm not exactly sure what's going on primetime TV, but I figured they'd get a good spot and they'd get a nice amount of viewers.
Yeah, so I'm not like tripping thinking that they're just going to announce everything at once. They even said, like, we're not going to do everything at one time. We're going to spread it out. And if it is going to be a Tuesday night show, do they want to go head-to-head with WWE and SmackDown? I mean, it would be fun to see that for a couple months and have, like, a Tuesday night war. But I think, I don't think we're going to get an announcement anytime soon. Maybe we get it at Double or Nothing. But, I don't know.
We shall see. Alright, so Bob Stoops has apparently been announced as the head XFL coach for the Dallas team. You know who this guy is?
Yes, I know who this guy is. National champion head coach Bob Stoops for the Oklahoma Sooners. Boomer Sooner Jim Ross is not alma mater. He didn't attend the University of Oklahoma, but yet that is his favorite football team. So Bob Stoops having that sort of link within the WWE universe, you might say. So, I mean, he's a big name. He was in the college world just a few years ago. He gets fired, but it's a big name, big first step for XFL. I don't exactly know what this means. The not the GM, the president or whatever his official name was, he kind of made some sort of announcement saying that in the next coming months we're going to put out like they're doing like spring camp and they're going to do a rules announcement and they're going to do like some supplemental drafts and a rookie draft or whatever in the next few months. So by beginning of the NFL season this year, so September, October, it looks as though the XFL is going to be in full swing and we're going to know exactly what's going down with all the teams.
If they come out here, we out to XFL game?
Well, there's no San Francisco XFL team, Philip. We've already talked about this.
Have we really? God, that was so long ago, man. I forget, I'd like to go to XFL game. I've never been to a football game before, or a pro football game, so, I'd like to see what's up.
I don't exactly know if you'd call an XFL game a pro football game.
Okay, I've never been to, like, a football game other than, like, a high school football game or a Little League football game.
I've been to the Raider game a couple years ago. Good thing I never went back, because after that they just went downhill.
Oh, man.
Marshawn Lynch was dancing. The whole Coliseum was going crazy. It was a good time. So happy I never went back, because it wouldn't have matched up.
It wouldn't have lived up. It'd be like that sometimes. All right, The Undertaker, the dead man, the demon from Death Valley. He has his first non-WWE appearance scheduled in Liverpool. I think the wrestling company is For the Love of Wrestling. It's on April 28th. Apparently, Undertaker has social media now. He has like Twitter and Instagram, and he's in the bio it says former WWE superstar. So I guess Big Mark is looking to branch out and have other wrestling appearances outside of World Wrestling Entertainment.
This is news to me, I'll be honest. I didn't know. I knew about like him putting or not having WWE in his Twitter handle or anything like that, but I didn't know that. When I saw in the script, I thought I was like, oh, he's going to make a Liverpool appearance for WWE. He's going to be at a house show or something, but apparently not. So that's big news, I would seem. But I mean, you do you, boo. Go make your money. I ain't going hate.
Yeah, I mean, one of the recent pictures of the Undertaker surface, I don't know where he was at. I know an Impact Wrestling thing was the backdrop, and he was taking pictures with Eli Drake and Knockouts champion Ty Valkyrie. Met Ty Valkyrie this past Friday. Very nice lady.
Very nice lady.
Yes. All right. Now, wrestling locker room ignorance. I was listening to Sam Roberts this morning, and he had Mark Henry on the podcast, and Mark Henry was talking about what's going on backstage in the locker room nowadays and how the young guys are being really disrespectful, leaving the trash everywhere. And if you ask them to pick up the trash, they say, hey, that's not my job. And, Henry was talking about how people who would enforce these locker room etiquette rules are no longer there. Taker's not there, he's not there, Show's injured. And Mark Henry said he will be in a backstage role specifically to bring back locker room etiquette. So, thoughts on that?
First off, I'm Team Bianca Belair when it comes with her and Sam Roberts. Shout out.
No, they talked about that on the show. Mark Henry said he understood why Sam said what he said. Is Sam going to apologize for his opinion? He's already said no. But there are people out there saying that Sam is being sexist and racist, and that's not the case. The guy's brought on WWE TV to give his opinion. Brought on to give those hot takes. Those hot takes, yeah. I'm still Team Sam. Sam, you and I cool. Do some business to Sirius XM one day. But back to the locker room etiquette talk. For me, it's just common sense and common decency. Common courtesy, not to just, throw your crap on the floor and just pick it up. It's not that hard. Just, if you're eating something or you're using something, just throw it away. I don't exactly know what to do about this. It's not a wrestling thing. It's a person thing. It's a human thing. Yeah, Ryder, pick up your Tanner, bro. I don't know if that's even the case. I just threw that out there. All right, inside of the ring, halftime heat. How'd you enjoy the show? I know you talked about it under the radar. For those of people who haven't heard it, just give them a quick little.
Well, I watched it simultaneously with the Super Bowl halftime show.
Why did you do that to yourself?
Well, I knew Travis Scott was going to be there, so I had to leave.
Was he good?
No, not really.
Oh, damn.
Anyway, so I was watching halftime. I was watching the Super Bowl on the TV, watch halftime heat on my phone. So for the most part, I was paying attention to my phone the entire time, except for when SpongeBob and Travis Scott came on. Then I, of course, had to pay attention to the TV. But for the most part, it was kind of a spot fest, you might say. They got their stuff in. I don't even know what the official time was, like a 15-minute six-man tag match. Those are just a lot of moving parts. Baby faces go over. I don't know if this is like a match inside of a bubble. I haven't seen the latest episode of NXT yet, so I don't know if they've built off this or anything like that. But it was a good match for what it was. Definitely better than the halftime show.
Yes. Travis Scott, did he perform sicko mode?
Of course he did.
Oh, All right, just making sure. Was that at least good? Or it was
No.
decent? No.
It was fine, but it's just he's not in front of a crowd who is going
To go
crazy, going crazy for him. It's not his show. It's not his crowd. So it was not the best in the world. I mean, I've seen Travis Scott live, and it was amazing. And I didn't even really know who he was. Well, I knew who he was, but I wasn't a big fan.
Okay.
But I wish I was at Astro World when it came to Oakland, but that was the same day as TLC.
Ah.
Yeah.
You had decisions.
I did. I could have maybe squeezed in and did both. Drive up 880, go to San Jose and Oakland. But I was like, no.
You're like Jericho hitting up 2 shows in the same day.
Yep, I could have.
I feel you, man.
Or like Dion playing baseball and football on the same day. Just watched 30 for 30 yesterday. Very good documentary. Highly suggest you check it out.
Okay. Halftime Heat. I enjoyed it. Sort of a spot fest, sure, but the promo afterwards that Aleister Black, the Dream, and who was a Ricochet cut. I don't know where you can find it. I was listening to State of Combat. They played the whole audio. It sounded amazing. Velveteen Dream, the kids got spunk.
Shawn Michaels was on commentary, and he wasn't that good.
Well, yeah, I mean, on commentary, I don't know when was the last time he did commentary. He's nervous. That's understandable.
Well, okay, but color commentary is a completely different thing than being your own self, being the third wheel, trying to get yourself over and, forward a storyline on Raw. That's a completely different thing.
Yeah. I don't know what was up with Shawn. Maybe if he had some hair on his head, he'd shape up.
Wow. Triple H has done well without his hair.
I've gotten used to that. When he cut his hair like 2012, I just got used to it last year. So Sean, you and I got like 5 or 6 years before I'm okay with this.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Hideo Itami wrestles his last match in WWE. There's video. I think it was on Daily Motion or Vimeo, one of those sites. It was like a little mini documentary from like the end of January up until now. Hideo, he goes back to Gorilla. He's hugging Shinsuke Nakamura. He's hugging Asuka. He's shaking the hand and hugging Arn Anderson, saying thank you for everything. So it's gonna be nice to see where Kenta moves on to in the future.
Yeah, kind of bittersweet. Tommy could have been so much more in WWE, but obviously injuries and has kind of derailed him. Who knows if he was healthy, if he would have even done anything in WWE. He's just the language barrier, the size, and everything. But going over to Japan, AEW, wherever he might land, I'm excited to see what he does, because he hasn't exactly been Kenta. I mean, he's been doing good work on 205 Live, what I've been hearing, but it's not going to be the same.
Yes. All right. This day in wrestling, Scott Steiner shoots on Nitro in 2000. So this was him just shooting on Ric Flair. I guess they had like real life beef back then. It's interesting. Scott Steiner's always interesting. Any Scott Steiner promo's interesting. But when he does math, by God, he's amazing.
Scott Steiner's cool. I like his daughter better, Jordan Grace.
I still can't believe that's his daughter, man.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a work or is this a shoot, brother?
It's a straight up shoot.
Really?
She's Big Mama thickness.
Really?
Big Mama pump.
I was watching an Impact from like 2011, and Scott Steiner said he's the big bad booty daddy, and I'm like, what are you talking about, bro?
He is the big bad booty daddy.
Scott Steiner is hilarious, dude. He might need to be my CPA moving forward. All right, there was a Raw on this day in 2000, of course. The Radicals realized it's better to work with the McMahon-Helmsley regime than to go up against them, and so they assault Mankind. And then there was a Raw on this day in 2011. The new Nexus was around. Randy Orton was feuding with them. CM Punk wrestles John Cena. Yeah.
Probably watched that Raw in 2011, but doesn't stick out.
It doesn't stick out. It wasn't one of those. Apparently, this Raw in 2000 was the 350th episode or something like that. I don't know.
Back when WWF was on fire.
Back when it was on fire. All right, let's read these fan mails real quick.
Hope they're good.
Oh my goodness.
They better be good.
Soulja Boy. Since WWE...
Shout out Soulja Boy, the most influential rapper of all time.
Dude, Soulja Boy? Have you seen that Breakfast Club clip? Like, that's hilarious. Drake? Shout out Soulja Boy. He's making it happen. Alright, since WWE has an eco-friendly championship, should they have an eco-friendly elimination chamber? Isn't that basically the Punjabi prison?
I mean, it's steel. I don't know how eco-friendly steel is. I'm not exactly. I haven't read up too much on the whole steel, eco environmental crap that all goes on with that. But I mean, it's probably not very eco-friendly to make a whole nother structure when you already have one in the bank.
True. Sorry, Soldier Boy. All right, next up, Jack of all trades. Do you think WWE is really worried about AEW? Not really. No, because I've heard Hunter on countless interviews say WWE's competition is itself. Raw's competing with SmackDown. SmackDown's competing with NXT. NXT's competing with NXT UK. NXT UK's competing with 205 Live. All this other stuff. All the brands are competing with each other. That's his whole take on it. AEW is an alternative, but it's not competition. Unless they really want to go head to head with Vince and they announce a TV deal today, and then they start in like a month from now they start having like a Tuesday night show and going up against SmackDown or something. They're not competition. They're a nice alternative. They're a fun alternative. But I don't think Vince and Hunter and Steph in the suits up in Stanford are sweating about Cody and the Bucks right now.
Should they be worried? Maybe. Could they be worried? Absolutely. I think right now, if I'm WWE, I look at them, and with all these apparent releases that people are asking for and people that are contracts are coming up, we have Finn Balor trolling everybody on the internet, posting pictures with the Tommy, Neville, and Jericho, like on back-to-back days, so everyone's just going crazy about what Finn Balor's doing. And if there was like no AEW in the works, if there was no other like true number 2 brand, even though AEW might not be 2 in terms of, reputation, they're throwing money around like the WWE at the moment. So, I mean, the wrestlers might be getting a little bit more, they might be feeling themselves a little bit more, knowing that they can go to another company and make just as much money. So right now, if I'm WWE, I look at them and be like, okay, we need to like look at ourselves and we need to try to change things up. That's why I think like the whole Dean Ambrose thing with them like acknowledging it and not like they haven't buried him so far, but we can get into that on Raw. But I think WWE could be and should be worried with AEW because right now I've said it, like right now AEW's competition is ROH, and I think right now AEW's winning. So then after they beat ROH, which I don't know exactly what that means, they can go to the next step and go to WWE. But I don't think there's going to be a real war between the two companies for at least until 2020, because 2019 is really the building blocks. And yes, there'll be a TV show by the end of the year, but 2020 will be the real year where we see if there's something going on between these two companies.
Yeah, it's funny to think AEW, they haven't even had a show yet, and they're beating Ring of Honor. But Ring of Honor, they focused on the Bullet Club for quite some time. They didn't really focus on building new stars. Sure, Dalton Castle won the heavyweight title there. Christopher Daniels finally got the big one there. They put the title on Cody, and the title's back on Jay Lethal. I know Jeff Cobb, friend of the pod, he's a TV champion over there. But
and Marty Scurll being one of the top guys with his new faction, it seems, we don't know officially, like I haven't heard a whole lot, but it seems as though Marty Scurll, once that thing is over with in April or May or whatever, he looks like as though he's going to we'll see him in Vegas, who knows, but Marty Scurll is going to jump ship. That'll be a big move for AEW, so just even more talent. Yeah. Coming down the pipeline.
Marty Scurll started that faction with Brody King
and PCO.
Yeah, 50-something-year-old PCO.
Hey, don't hate on Villain Enterprises.
I know PCO. He's reinvented himself. Nobody's thought about a Quebecer in God knows how long, but
We were talking about him last year.
Shout out. When you
that Walter match.
Yeah, that weird non-speaking promo that you sent me.
Yep.
Yes. No, Brody King, I've seen him live. He's at King of the Indies, APW, night before that New Japan show at the Cow Palace. I like his stuff. He has an interesting look. Villain Enterprises. We
saw Dragon Lee before he killed Hiromu.
Dude, I fell asleep during that match, believe it or not.
At New Japan?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, right?
Best match of the show, and he fell asleep. A man almost died. You're asleep.
That says something about New Japan, man. They were hot, but now all their talent's gone. Jay White, my boy, he might just save New Japan. We don't know. We'll see. We shall see. I think that's enough. Oh wait, no, we had one more fan mail. My bad. Wow. It's your boy too.
Hootie Who?
Yeah, Hootie Who 420.
Of course, it's Hootie Who.
What's one of your most treasured pieces of wrestling memorabilia?
That's a very interesting question. Not to brag or anything, but I don't know what you would count memorabilia, because I have some plaques and I have some like autographs.
Can I cop one?
I've told you, if you want that Dolph Ziggler Money in the Bank plaque, I'll give it to you for like $100.
Dude, you said $50 one day.
Well,
hold on.
Well, Dolph Ziggler, he's about to be a free agent. He's doing his comedy tour. He's about to be a big deal.
He is. Go see Nick Nemeth live when he comes to a city near you.
So, my favorite piece, or my most cherished piece of memorabilia, it might be my Seth Rollins WrestleMania 31 Money in the Bank plaque. It's like a number
Cashed in.
It's like a number 5 out of 500. It's him signed. It's hanging above my bed. You know, it has sentimental value more than monerical value or numerical value, whatever the hell you say. I don't know. It's not worth a whole lot probably, but I was there and it has a place in my heart.
I have a Seth Rollins plaque. It was like the Money in the Bank one with like a piece of the ladder that he climbed. It's like number 4 to 400. That's cool. My Cody Rhodes autographs. You know, I love those. You know, I have a Jericho autograph, Shawn Michaels. I think what really means something to me is I still have the wrestling tickets from the first ever wrestling show I ever went to. It was a Raw, which actually, what's today, the 7th? Yeah. Today's the 7th.
It is the 7th.
That was 10 years ago on the 9th. It was at the Oracle. I remember that Shawn Michaels was on the card, wrestled Mark Henry. This is when The Undertaker was still in his later prime, wrestling. Randy Orton legacy was around. John Cena was the World Heavyweight Champion. Got to see Jillian Hall sing live.
Okay.
That's the best part of it, you know. I got to see Shane McMahon hit the coast to coast to Ted DiBiase with a trash can. So I think those tickets are probably my most treasured piece of wrestling memorabilia, besides my Bulletcast Championship here.
Yeah, I mean, every ticket I really ever have, whether it be sports, wrestling, even movie tickets sometimes, I throw them all into my WWE 2K14 Undertaker coffin that I have.
Oh, I had one of those. I lost it. I feel sad.
But, yeah, I mean, when it comes to, like, an autograph, I don't exactly know if I have, like, one autograph. Like, one, I really do like my Shawn Michaels autograph, because it's, like, him diving through the ropes at 26. Dude. And my goal in life is to get Undertaker to sign that photo as well, so I can get both of them on the same one. Yeah,
Shawn Michaels, he signed a plastic bag I had. I was like 19, didn't have enough money to buy a photo or whatever. I had this bag at the venue he was at, and I was like, hey, can you sign this bag? He's like, yeah, sure. Looked at me kind of weird. I don't blame him, but, you know, he threw up the 2 sweet. He gave me a 2 sweet. It was a good time.
Yeah. I mean, personally, like, when it comes to, like, meeting wrestlers, like, yeah, the autographs are cool because I have, like, the little encyclopedia, so it's kind of like a little yearbook. So any wrestling fan out there going to conventions or anything, I highly recommend getting the WWE Encyclopedia because it's a nice, easy way to get things signed, and you don't have to, like, carry around a bunch of action figures or a bunch of different 8x10s. If you're into action figures, getting those signed, albeit, you know, go for it. But I highly recommend getting the encyclopedia.
Yeah, you have the 2013.
I have the old version. So there's a new one that came out. So, you know, if I wanted to get Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose or No Way Jose or anybody from, you know, the past 4 years that have debuted, I'm not going to get those. But I mean, mostly everybody, if you go to WrestleCon or some, like, the older people, they're all going to be there. I mean, like, when we went to the Cow Palace, I was surprised Brandi Rhodes was even in there. So that's how long she's been with the company, that Eden Styles picture was in there.
Eden Styles.
And I think she signed at Brandi Rhodes, so.
Yeah.
Of course she did.
Shout out. All right, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. So the man came to Monday Night Raw. She was invited by Stephanie McMahon. Her music hits, cut Stephanie off. And Stephanie she just blatantly says, look, I don't think you're medically cleared to compete. You can see our doctors. And Becky refused, and then she got suspended. And so what does Becky do? She assaults Stephanie McMahon. And, you know, security comes out there, and Stephanie kicks Becky's bad knee, and that kind of puts Becky down for a little bit or whatever. Thoughts on this segment?
I thought overall the segment was very nice. It was kind of reminiscent of, I mean, if they're really trying to do this whole Stone Cold thing, it really just was a kind of a copycat version of the Stone Cold Vince McMahon stuff of, you know, Becky hitting Stephanie. They're really playing up the whole knee situation, and the whole thing with this knee and her doesn't want to go see the doctors. I think they need to, like, take that extra step to kind of explain, or at least Becky has to, of explaining why she doesn't trust the doctors. Because right now it just kind of seems as though Becky doesn't want to see the doctors, but it doesn't really give us a reason why why does she think that if she goes to the doctors are going to screw her over and do all this stuff?
That's what happened with Survivor Series.
Not really. I mean, she got her face blown up.
Well, true. I mean, she needs to really connect to it, because like Austin, Vince McMahon didn't want Austin to wrestle because of his neck or whatever, and Austin said, "No, I don't trust you. DTA, don't trust anybody." She needs to throw that out there, like, I don't trust you guys. I don't trust your team. Let me go to my own personal doctor. She needs to say something like that.
And the thing is, like, with her face, like, yes, her face was a little messed up, but visually you couldn't, like, see that, like, her nose was broken or anything structurally was wrong. But with her knee, like, she's limping around, she has a brace on it. Like, it looks as though she shouldn't be wrestling because it looks as though she's hurt. So it's kind of like the management's kind of doing the right thing, like telling her, just get it checked out. That's all we are asking you to do. We're not saying, it's not like we're telling you you're going to be out for WrestleMania. It's just we're going to just look at it. I mean, I love Becky. I think what she's doing, the swagger she's carrying is great. I just think the story needs like that extra little step to make it fully make sense, and it's working right now, but we get on to SmackDown when there's another layer to this.
Yeah, I mean, you think they're going to go with Becky, kind of the route Daniel Bryan went, like he went on this mission to get cleared or whatever. You think they're going to do that with Becky over the next couple weeks?
Gonna get some like Rocky training montages of her.
No, I'm just saying,
in rehab.
Like, she goes to all these doctors just to try to get cleared. Do you think they're going to do something like that?
I don't know. I think we're just going to get Becky invading Raw and SmackDown like every week for the next month.
She doesn't have to invade every show. It's not
she's Stone Cold. When Stone Cold was white hot, he was on almost every other segment.
God, yes. All right, so then as Becky Lynch is being escorted out of the building, Ronda Rousey shows up, and she should not be cutting these long, elaborate promos. Like, somebody who's a fighter, who's a badass, doesn't speak that way. She had like the last part of that promo, she was like, "Ice and Advil, biatch." That was perfectly fine. That was badass. Ronda Rousey needs to say 2 sentences and that's it.
Yeah, it seems as though Ronda Rousey is responsible for all these promos and these like long, drawn out, as you said, sentences and all this like soliloquy she's going on. And I agree with you that she needs to kind of keep it short and sweet. And like when she goes on and just starts rambling for no reason whatsoever, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It does put heat on her though, because I don't know if they're overtly playing her as a heel, but I think right now she's being very unlikable and she's kind of being a bully. I wouldn't say a bully, but she's definitely not being nice to Becky Lynch right now.
Yeah, and she's trying to like get through these promos, kind of rush through it. It gives her like mush mouth, so to speak, and that may have to do with the speech impediment she had as a child.
Because she's trying to say the words. She's trying to remember the words instead of just making it come from the heart and just saying what she feels. So that's another thing. Is like when you're just reciting lines, you don't have the same emotion. It doesn't sound the same as if you're just saying what you feel.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think she needs an editor for her promos. Does somebody actually go over and like give a final draft of what she needs to say, or does she just write it and go out there and say it?
I mean, I assume she has at least one like designated writer with her, and they work together for a little bit. But I'm pretty sure Ronda has a lot to say. So Vince has to okay everything that goes on the show. So, but maybe Vince has a little more leeway with Ronda just because of who she is. But I do agree that they need to vet it a little bit better. Maybe filter some of the stuff out.
Okay, I mean, like, something needs to get done right. Like, they need to really reword everything that she writes and make it simpler, straight to the point. Be like, all right, hey, why don't you go out here and say this and try to deliver it like this or whatever. Or maybe just let her speak from the heart. I don't know, man.
But that's just how it is with these 3-hour Raws. Is you take a 2-minute segment and you got to stretch it out to make it feel 8 minutes. Like everything is just kind of stretched out. It's that silly putty that, yes, it fills up 10 feet long, but it's you put a pencil through it and it just breaks like it's nothing.
Yeah,
not a whole lot of substance there.
It's gonna be interesting. Anyway, later on in the night, Ronda Rousey, she goes on to defeat Liv Morgan of the Riot Squad. Then she said she wanted more, and she defeats Sarah Logan. And Ruby Riott stepped up on the apron and didn't want none. Thoughts?
Well, I mean, she went through Liv pretty decisively. It was what she should do. She kind of, they like cut to commercial and they come back and she beats Sarah Logan a little bit longer. So I guess that kind of shows the pecking order that it goes Liv, Sarah, then Ruby. I was hesitant, thinking like, okay, they better not just bury the entire Riot Squad on this night. They didn't. They saved Ruby, which is kind of, I thought it was a good idea because I do have high hopes for Ruby. I think Ruby is definitely better than what she's been used recently. And if you save her to have a match with Ronda at Fastlane as kind of, a tune-up or some, minor little feud that she has while Becky's in rehab or whatever Becky's doing at that point. I mean, I think it's a nice little minor feud for Ronda going forward. So I'm happy they didn't job out Ruby at this moment.
Yeah, I think we should really, honestly, Ronda shouldn't defend her title until WrestleMania. That's how I feel. And I feel like she shouldn't really, wrestle every week on Raw. Let's kind of savor her a little bit. It's February 7th. She doesn't have to wrestle again until, the first Raw of March, She can have... Oh, God, actually, she can't have promo segments. I don't know what you're going to do with Ronda Rousey moving forward in this feud, but we know stuff happened on SmackDown with Becky and Charlotte that we're going to get into, but we're going to get into the rest of Raw real quick. All right, what else happened on Raw? Kurt Angle shakes off the idea of retirement. This all leads... Actually, first, what do you think of his promo, first of all?
The promo was okay. I thought it was funny that he actually acknowledged the Jason Jordan angle. He talked about him having a son that he never knew about, which... Where the hell is Jason Jordan? He's
a backstage producer now.
He's gone. No mention of him whatsoever, but... I mean, the promo itself, it was all right. I mean, it is kind of depressing of how they're portraying him. But are we just talking about the promo first?
Yeah.
The promo first. I mean, it was all right. It was a little depressing, but I thought they were taking those steps to have that the wrestler storyline where he climbs his way up and he finally wins one. And
with Mickey Rourke?
Yes.
Yes. R-Truth and Cesaro were in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Shout out.
Yeah. So this. Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre come out, Braun Strowman comes out. This all leads to a match, Corbin and McIntyre defeating Strowman and Angle via DQ.
Well, I've said this in the past. I feel as though Braun Strowman should be used as though he's kind of like Andre the Giant, just kind of sparsely used, rarely on TV, mostly just use him on house shows. I think this is kind of the one way you can use Strowman going forward, kind of be like that enforcer, the big brother who comes in when someone's getting bullied. And I thought Braun showed a lot of charisma that we haven't really seen him before. He was more kind of lighthearted with Kurt, kind of showing a little bit more emotion, kind of like what he was doing with Alexa Bliss in the Mixed Match Challenge. I thought that was kind of a nice little way to portray Strowman there. The match itself, it was kind of, they disqualified him for interfering because he wasn't the legal man, which happens in literally every single tag match. So they're kind of opening up Pandora's box there.
They're getting pretty strict with that rule book as of late, And
it clearly was because they didn't want Corbin or McIntyre or Strowman or Angle to do a job. They didn't want anybody to do the job, so they just had this flimsy DQ finish. Overall, the match was okay. Not the hottest way to end Raw, but Seth Rollins wasn't there. He's not going to wrestle. Brock Lesnar's not there, so you can't exactly do something with that. So I guess you can say this was the next best thing, but it is what it is.
Yes. It is what it is. Alright, moving on. The Revival become number one contenders to the tag titles. They defeat with Lucha House Party, the B-Team, Heavy Machinery, and was that it? I think that was it, right?
It was a four-corner match, so...
Yeah?
If you've named 4 teams, then that was it.
Yeah.
Heavy Machinery, once again, falling short of the number one contendership for the tag team titles. This time it wasn't an elimination match. They didn't actually get jobbed out. They didn't get pinned.
Good showing.
I thought they had a good showing. They're maybe being a little bit too bushwhacker-ish for my liking. But, with the way Otis carries himself, I knew that that's how they were going to be portrayed because Vince, picks on one aspect and just makes that the whole gimmick. So, hopefully they can do something going forward. But the Revival being number one contenders going up against Rude and Gable. We see this how many times before, so...
Yeah.
Just, another match to be on. Is this on Elimination Chamber or is this going to be on Raw next week? I don't even know.
I have no idea, but the Revival have to win. They have to win the tag titles here. Gable and Rude.
Maybe they do the job before leaving the territory.
Ooh, I don't know about that. Gable and Rude, they've had their fun as champions, but I think it's time to put the titles on the Revival. Let's revive the Revival. And make them
I see what you did
champions. There. Heyo. Alright, after that, the Boston... Or, not after, but, in the same show. The Boston Hug Connection defeat Nikki Cross and Alicia Fox. You don't want to cross the Fox.
Bars.
I'm out here. Travis Scott, what's up? Anyway, moving on. What do you think of this?
Well, I mean, the beatdown before was fine. The entire match was just built around Bayley making a comeback and hitting Fox with a roll-up. Not a whole lot here, but, I mean, we finally had a babyface team enter the Elimination Chamber, so good for them.
All the other teams aren't babyface?
It's only them and the mismatch of Carmella and Naomi. So it's 2-on-4.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll see. You know, we shall see. Shout out to the Boston Hug Connection getting in there. It'd be too obvious if they won, bro. Let's put them on the Iconics or something.
You know, I just want to see what the tag team division looks like in the dog days of fall or winter when there's nothing going on. They've ran through every single feud you can think of. As we just said, there's one true babyface tag team in the entire company. And we've said they should each be singles people. So what are you going to do going forward with this tag team division? I mean, in the short term, like, maybe I thought it was a good idea, but then thinking 10 months to a year down the line, like, what is this division going to look like?
That secondary woman's title is not looking so bad right now, is it?
Less titles, please. That's all I'm asking.
I mean, that's the only title that really matters.
I think I saw a tweet that, like, in the WWE ecosystem, there's, like, 17 titles.
That sounds about right.
That's a lot.
Should we count them out now?
We're kind of going a little long. I don't think we need to do that right now.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Elias, he defeated JEFFJARRE, double T. That's Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Road Dogg, the roadie, was accompanied Jeff Jarrett. They started singing "With My Baby Tonight" before the match. You know, I always wondered why that just wasn't Jarrett's theme song. You know, he had that weird instrumental. I don't know. "With My Baby Tonight," seriously, one of my favorites. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on Elias defeating Double J?
Well, the crowd in Portland was not too hot on Jeff Jarrett, so I don't think we're going to be seeing Jeff Jarrett anytime soon. They pop big for Road Dogg because it's Road Dogg, but it's not exactly the big pops that he was getting, whatever it was, 4 or 5 years ago when they came back for WrestleMania 30.
Yes.
So I think this nostalgia trip is over. Elias gets the victory here. I mean, not a whole lot. I feel bad for Elias because that guitar shot was not very good. It was very stiff. Didn't break.
Yes, it did not look good. But, you know, I'm thinking, like you said, nostalgia trip is over. 2 weeks of fun, and then Elias can move on to other things.
And Jeff Jarrett can be a producer.
Yes, and Road Dogg can go back to writing Smackdown. Alright, Finn Balor was scheduled to have a match with Lashley, the current reigning Intercontinental Champion. But instead he takes on Lio Rush, and Balor defeats Rush. Possibly earning a future IC title match.
It was a good little match. I mean, Rush kind of making his Raw debut, I think. I don't even know if this is the first time he's ever wrestled on Raw. Not exactly sure, but I thought he was good. I mean, Finn Balor versus Lio Rush, especially for people who know who Lio Rush is, would know this was a good match. It was good, wasn't great. I did find it funny that Lio Rush did like the little springboard off the bottom rope, and he completely faked out the cameraman, which showed that the WWE camera crew had no idea what his moveset was.
Terrible, just terrible.
And they didn't even replay to see what, because the way they shot it, you could barely even see what he did when he springboarded back in the ring, and we didn't even get a replay of it. Shame, Kevin Dunn.
Kevin Dunn, you bastard!
I'm not going that far. I mean, settle your tea kettle, as Natty would say.
What?
Settle your tea kettle.
Who says that?
Natalia.
Really?
Yeah. Total Divas recaps, Total Bellas, and Ms. and Mrs. recaps.
Hey,
every week.
I thought you were about to name the episode of Total Divas. I was like, oh.
She said that all the time. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Total Bellas returns this week after a brief hiatus from the Super Bowl.
Yes, you know, Nikki Bella in that midlife crisis.
You know, she's going to be dating her co-star of Dance with the Stars, Artem. Artem's a very handsome man.
Who names their kid that?
I think he's Russian or something.
Oh, okay, never mind. I understand. Shut up. Alright, EC3 was this week's guest on A Moment of Bliss with Miss Alexa Bliss. You know, Alexa said that EC3 has a very big bank account. And then, of course, they were...
Shout out 21 Savage. Stay strong, brother. Free 21.
Dude, I didn't know he was British, bro. That's hilarious to me. Yeah, so they get interrupted by Nia Jax and Tamina. Then, who shows up, but Dean Ambrose, a man who was supposed to be leaving shortly after WrestleMania.
And it seems as though the crowd knows about this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they were like, don't leave, Dean. Then so a match happens with EC3 and Dean Ambrose, and EC3 wins his Raw debut.
So I don't think having EC3 being a mute is the best way to have him get over, especially since his best assets are him talking. He's not the best wrestler in the world. The whole sexual tension between EC3 and Alexa Bliss was kind of weird. I don't know where that was coming from.
Yo, Buddy Murphy, how do you feel about that, my guy?
And then Dean Ambrose comes out, gets a pretty good pop from the crowd, so it seems as though the crowd knows that he's leaving. And then he comes out, runs down EC3, does a little bit of kooky stuff, has some good lines in there, and they have a match. Match wasn't that good, and then he gets them with one of the crappiest leverage pins I've ever seen. Yeah. And then he does the job, and I think it just further fuels people being maybe not angry at WWE, but getting behind Dean Ambrose, being he wasn't used properly.
I should have said this on the show last week. Dean Ambrose and I are kind of cut from the same cloth. If you want to go out there and achieve greatness out of other institutions, man, then you go do that, man. You don't have to feel held down, my guy, my brother. John, I get you, my guy. If you want to leave and go do that, so be it. But if you want to stay so we can see you on TV every week, that's good too. You never know. All right, let's hop into SmackDown. Let's hit that real quick. So, Charlotte Flair makes her way out to the ring. She's talking about how she hopes Becky's going to be healthy or whatever. And but Charlotte says she's 100% to go for WrestleMania. She points at the sign. Becky Lynch invades SmackDown. Hunter comes out there. Hunter tells Charlotte to shut up. This doesn't concern her. Then Hunter and Becky have a little moment, and Hunter basically asks her, tell me that you're scared to face Ronda Rousey, that she's going to expose you in front of the world. Becky slaps the game, and Becky leaves through the crowd because she stole the Shield's entrance, and yeah.
So I guess we got the return of heel Triple H, so we got Triple H's split personalities coming back around. I mean, the segment with Triple H and Becky was good, it was fine for what it was, but I really liked how Charlotte was, her kind of coming back as like a straight up heel. I mean, she's been pretty heelish the past couple weeks, and I think she definitely embraced it here. And with Charlotte being a heel, I mean, I still don't want this to be a triple threat match, but if Charlotte is in this match, I mean, she has to be a heel. And you have Becky being the lone babyface going up against these two heels. So, I think what they're doing, hopefully, is wishful thinking on my part, but I think they're playing into this notion that everybody thinks it's going to be a triple threat match, so they're playing into it, but then in the end, it's just going to be a one-on-one.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte, she I said that she needed to be in the match to make it blockbuster. Do I still have those beliefs to an extent? Yeah, sure, but me personally, like the rest of the wrestling world, I would love to see Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch one-on-one, because it's quintessential for Becky to be the one that beats Rousey. Charlotte, she's like Hogan, she's like Cena, she's like Roman, she'll have a guaranteed spot. But Becky, will she ever have this opportunity again? Honestly, we don't know that. I mean, if they make it a triple threat, Becky should beat Ronda. If they make it a fatal 5-way, a six-pack challenge, a 20-woman match, it doesn't matter as long as Becky beats Ronda. That's the focal point here. Becky needs to beat Ronda. Now, going with Charlotte, they could make a match for Fastlane. Let's say, if Charlotte beats Becky, she is in the match. They'd flirt with the idea. Becky rolls her up, shocks her, goes on, and it's just her and Ronda at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the way they should do it. Will they? I still don't know. It's WWE. They always screw the fans over and don't give us what we want. But the other ways I'm thinking of is they do this whole storyline with Becky riding her out. Charlotte gets her way in, so then they make it seem as though Becky is the one intruding and getting that third spot instead of Charlotte. So I don't know. I'm hoping they tease us and then they deliver what we want.
Yes. It's going to be interesting to see moving forward. I don't believe Triple H has split personalities, though. How dare you?
I mean, there's Papa Triple H at NXT.
Trips.
There's heel Triple H in WWE, and then there's the legend DX Triple H in WWE. So he has like at least 3 personalities, and the corporate Triple H.
They're all one guy, man. I mean, it's one guy that wears a lot of hats. That's all it is.
A lot of hats. Lots and lots of hats.
Yeah, like you're a man who wears a lot of hats.
Touche.
All right, so Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev, this newly formed team, defeat the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Yeah.
I mean, if this was like a start of a friendship and a team of Nakamura and Rusev, I wouldn't be complaining. Like, if this is the new bar, you might say, like, just two singles guys putting together, I wouldn't be fine. I mean, I'd be fine with that. Obviously, I think Rusev is so much better, and he could be such a bigger deal. I think Rusev is another one of those guys that could possibly go to AEW and could be a big jump. I mean, him and Lana going over there doing whatever they want in AEW. They've been a little vocal on social media, at least the past couple of weeks, or at least this week. They did something with Lillian Garcia. They've really just kind of, they, especially Lana, like Lana and Rusev are those people who like don't really care. They'll just say they'll say whatever. They don't care what the repercussions are. So maybe they're just trying to get themselves fired. I don't know what they're doing, but it's another layer in this AEW saga to where maybe we get Rusev jumping.
They won't get fired, bro. They'll just sit at home until that contract runs out.
They'll get nevilled.
And then that 90-day no compete clause. Like, don't piss off the boss, guys. Don't do that. Yeah. Anyway, so Randy Orton goes on to defeat Mustafa Ali. Decent match. It was fun. Ali with a swollen eye. Nia Jax took to social media and said, "Was I on SmackDown Live last night?" After, Ali posted a photo of himself in that eye. Anyway, so after the match, Orton, possible AEW signee, gets attacked by Samoa Joe. Thoughts?
The match itself was fine. I think the entire thing was just built around having another RKO spot. It was impressive. It looked good. Once again, I mean, what could have been Ali just like a shock roll-up or a distraction finish for Ali to get the victory? Yeah, you could have. Is he hurt tremendously from the loss? No. If it was me, I might have went with Ali, but, they want the RKO out of nowhere, so...
They got time. They got a few weeks. Plus, he's in a WWE title match. He'll be okay.
I mean, I think one way to push him is, like, maybe he's that last guy to make it to Daniel Bryan. It's like him and Daniel Bryan in the finish, and, I mean, he's probably not going to win, but I think putting him maybe even putting him, like, as the first guy and making a run to the final, 5 or 6 or, 4, 5, 6, whatever,
I think Ali in the final 3 would be a good spot for him. All right. Daniel Bryan has a promo.
I mean, it was a good promo from Daniel Bryan. I mean, they're in Washington State.
Yes, almost, 3 years to the day of his retirement speech. He returns to Washington as WWE Champion. Fight for your dreams, ladies and gentlemen, and they will fight for you.
Shout out to Everett, Washington, home of Washington State University. Did not get the graphic, did not get the mention of the city. They just were called Washington.
Yeah.
So, too bad Everett. Maybe better luck next time. Maybe if you get like a national champion basketball team or football team, maybe we'll say at least Washington State University. But I digress. Daniel knew that he had a partisan crowd on his hands, that he couldn't exactly, get them to boo him, so he had to kind of lay it on a little bit thicker than I think normal. So I think it was a good promo from him. The crowd was behind him the entire way, so that kind of maybe not affected the promo, but, it had a different feel than other ones.
Yes. Feel that, as Daniel used to say on Talking Smack. I enjoyed the promo. It was very nice, Washington, they're Daniel's people. The WWE champion, the planet's champion, he's really making waves, man.
But, I mean, Daniel Bryan returning for first time in 3 years, whatever the last time he's been in Washington, it wasn't a sellout. I think the entire upper deck was filled. Maybe like 5,000 people were in that arena. Not a good sign for Daniel Bryan, not a good sign for WWE in general, that they couldn't draw that big of a crowd in one of their top wrestlers' home markets. So, yeah.
I mean, we'll see. They still have a couple stops on the road to WrestleMania, so... I
think this build to WrestleMania has been very good so far.
It has. I enjoy it, The planet's champion. Maybe I should be the planet's podcaster.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, I see you drink, like, cans and stuff. I had never seen you with a reusable bottle.
Whoa. Don't...
Reusable bottle out here.
Hey.
Get yours at Costco, 2 for $25 or something. I don't know.
I have reusable bottles at my home. At my estate.
Collecting dust?
No. Just because they're not on display doesn't mean I don't have them, Brandon.
Okay.
Alright. So, Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles have a backstage segment. And Jeff Hardy says, he's going to take care of Daniel tonight. This just gave me TNA vibes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't exactly know what to say. It was fine for what it was. Not special, but just kind of two baby faces going back and forth. Neither one of them being terribly, totally likable, but
Yeah. Jeff Hardy throwing up his sign to let you know the segment is ending. I'm walking away.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Absolution. God's greatest gift, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
Oh, whoa. Do not undercut Sonya Deville.
I know. Sonya, she cool. Her and I, we tight. We cool.
Shout out to Mandy's Donuts.
Yeah, shout out.
I haven't gotten I don't even know if they upload another episode. I'm very angry. No episode this week.
It's okay, man. Mandy's gonna keep us company. Right?
I have to look it up now to make sure I didn't miss it. Because if I miss it, I'm gonna be very angry.
Oh, send me the link.
If I miss it, to Mandy's Donuts.
They go on to defeat the newly formed team of Carmella, the gatekeeper of Gucci, and Naomi, and also the Iconics were there too. So Mandy getting a little push here, man.
Mandy has her own YouTube channel?
She does.
But does she post on it?
When was the last post?
Oh, it's to Mandy's Donuts as well.
When was the last post? How long ago? Let me know.
They just post to Mandy's Donuts as well. So basically it just goes on her channel and on Mandy's channel.
Okay.
So they have not posted one this week.
Right,
so sad.
What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, sorry. Going back to the actual wrestling, not the donuts part. Forward. I mean, nobody got hurt. That's always a good sign. Forwardness of the of this match or this feud with the tag team championships, Naomi and Mandy Rose. It is what it is. And Lana once again going on a Twitter tirade saying that she was left out of the Elimination Chamber match, even though Naomi and her had a little thing going a few months ago.
Yeah, who?
But, Lana is injured, so technically maybe she's not cleared to compete.
Exactly, All right, Andrade Cien Almas and Selena Vega, they have a promo on SmackDown. What are your thoughts?
I was good. Simple backstage promo. They're not having him versus Rey Mysterio every week, which I think is good. Saving that for another pay-per-view and really give him a lot of time to have a good match.
20 minutes, bro.
I mean, almost he was fine for... Did he... I don't even remember, exactly what did he speak a lot of English, or was it mostly just Spanish?
It was a little here and there.
It was, a little Spanglish. So it was a good promo, and then Vega comes out. She cuts, the good English heel promo that she normally cuts. So just good forwardness of storylines.
Yes. All right, Jeff Hardy defeats the new Daniel Bryan, via disqualification. Rowan gets involved, and yeah.
I mean, the match itself was meh, but then they do the whole schmaz at the end. Thinking about this, I don't exactly know what that WWE Championship match at WrestleMania is going to be, but looking at it, if you're not going to call anybody up and you're just using with the crop of talent you have currently, I mean, turning Samoa Joe babyface going up against Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, it seems as though the plan I would go with. I just think Samoa Joe has been super, he's been swagtastic. He's been fire on the mic recently. I just love the way he carries himself. Yes, it's a little heelish, but I think you can curtail that and you can make it a little more babyface-ish going up against Daniel Bryan. And I mean, if you're going to pick anybody out of these or five guys to go up against Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, I think the one I'd pick is Samoa Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see Joe. And then put the title on him. Put the championship on Samoa Joe. Let him hold up that eco-friendly title at WrestleMania. Have you seen our eco-friendly design on the Bullet Cast? Did you see it?
I have. It's very nice. Very nice.
Yes, yeah. The fans, they trying to help a brother out.
If this was real leather, I'd be angry and demanding an eco-friendly title, but whoa. It's not real leather. I mean, come on, it's pleather.
Wow. I mean, I might have an eco-friendly title by the time we get to WrestleMania. You never know.
I'm not a part of management, so I don't know. I just show up.
Same, I'm just the on-air talent. I'm the boss on camera. All right, yeah. Then everybody else comes out. AJ Styles delivers phenomenal forearm to Jeff Hardy. Daniel Bryan's backstage in the gorilla position, cutting a promo, saying how Rowan's his intellectual peer, and yeah.
Yeah, these backstage interviewers have been a little sassy lately. They've been asking some very aggressive questions.
I know, They're trying to play up their Okerlund. Okerlund was pretty sassy.
I mean, it was kind of not a cold ending to SmackDown, but it was kind of an awkward ending. I think they were a little short on time, or a little long on time. They ended a little too quickly, but I thought Bryan's promo at the end was very fiery and very good.
Yes. Can't wait to see what they're going to do next week. And I think next week is they go home to Elimination Chamber.
It is.
Yes.
And all we have is the 2 Elimination Chamber matches, 2 tag matches, and maybe Finn versus Lashley, and hopefully that's it, because after Royal Rumble, I do not need another 4-hour show.
Oh my god, this should all be 4 hours. I'd love it. We should do a 4-hour podcast one day.
No.
Wow. Pritchard can do like 3-hour pods. Why can't we?
Because he has a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to talk about.
I mean, I could do it. We can do like a 4-hour watch-along, and I can do that.
Oh my god. Alright, never mind. Superstar Spotlight, who do we got?
I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to predict the future. Now, my Superstar Spotlight is going to be the next signee of AEW, Kenny Omega.
I thought you were about to say Randy Orton.
No. Randy Orton, I don't even know. I might have picked him like one time for my Superstar Spotlight.
Wow. In the history of this podcast.
Probably.
In the 2 years you've been here.
On like the 100 episodes I've been here, maybe Randy Orton's gotten one.
Wow. I'm going to go Hangman Page. I'll pick another AEW guy, you know? I was watching, like I said, the Double or Nothing little docu thing that they're doing, episode 2. And, you know, maybe see Hangman Page in a new light, you know? His little promo he had with Neville at the Double or Nothing rally. And, you know, saying how he's never loved a job more and all that other stuff. I like you, Hangman Page. You're my kind of guy.
I watched that video as well. I thought it was a good babyface promo. Maybe one of the better babyface promos I've ever seen Hangman Page cut in his career. I mean, I didn't know he was a teacher. I didn't know the past that he had.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought it was a very good promo, and I've said it. Maybe Adam Page could be that number one guy in AEW, since I think it wouldn't. I mean, you could do the whole Dusty Rhodes thing where Cody's the top guy and the booker, but I don't know if he wants to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Cody's going to take more of a backstage role going with All Elite Wrestling. All right, promo pick of the week. This happened 20 years ago, 6 days ago. Go ahead.
So it coincides with the match pick of last week with the halftime heat of Rock and Mankind. So this is the day after we have Mankind with the WWF Championship. The Rock comes out, and Rock has a little bit of a cold, so his voice is a little hoarse. But good promo back and forth between these two guys, setting up, which is going to be my match pick next week. So we're going to finish off this whole little Mankind Rock feud next week, which will be another match, which will be a stipulation match. We'll talk about that next week. But anyways, promo back and forth was fine. If you look it up on YouTube, The Rock and Mankind Raw, February 1st, 1999. It also comes in with like a little phone call that The Rock and Vince McMahon had. It was a little corny, a little weird, but, you know, something to see.
He did what he did. Typical Attitude Era stuff from Rock and Mankind. Since it is Black History Month, we will be having only African-American promo pick and match picks of the week moving forward in this month. My close match pick of the week, Randy Orton versus Mark Henry for the World Heavyweight Championship, Vengeance 2011. This was after Orton came off of that really underrated rivalry with Christian over the World Heavyweight title. They went from like May to, what is it, like August? And that feud is amazing. Anyway, Mark Henry captures the World Heavyweight Championship, making him the last African-American champion for now. Last African-American world champion for now in pro wrestling.
What about The Rock? The Rock won.
I'm talking about, like, the latest. He's the latest one.
We mean like the latest to win?
Yeah, the latest to win the world title.
I mean, The Rock did win in 2013.
I forgot about that. Okay, the latest new African-American world champion. There we go. We go.
Okay.
Oh, it was a good moment. I remember I popped, you know. I love seeing people like me reach the top of the mountain. What did you think of the match?
It's a good match. This is kind of the pinnacle of Mark Henry's career. He's kind of talked about this kind of being, you know, the highest of his topsy-turvy career.
The Hall of Pain.
The Hall of Pain, Mark Henry, you know, everything. This was kind of the best run he's ever had, and, you know, good on Mark Henry. He's had a topsy-turvy career. Maybe not a real Hall of Famer in my books, but, you know.
Whoa. Sexual chocolate? The stuff with China?
My point exactly.
Well, I mean, and then, you know,
I have very, very high. My Hall of Fame is like the baseball Hall of Fame. It is very high standards.
We can get to a Hall of Fame discussion on this pod. We really could, but not now. I'm just saying.
I mean, to be honest, Randy Orton might not even make my Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yep.
Youngest world champion ever.
Meh. I don't take, you know, kayfabe stuff like that into.
He's the youngest world champion.
That's kayfabe because he
not
he was given that title. It's not like he earned it. I'm talking about like money, work rate,
Okay.
prestige. That's what I bring. If I'm talking about Hall of Fame, that's who's in my Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, follow us on Twitter at BillyCast, Instagram The BillyCast, YouTube channel The BillyCast.
I'm not saying like these two guys aren't WWE Hall of Famers. That's a completely different thing than my Hall of Fame, which I have, very, very high regards to who I would put in my Hall of Fame.
Hey,
like
man.
I take this like the baseball Hall of Fame, the hardest Hall of Fame to get into.
Just say you're in my Hall of Fame. I'm gonna just say that.
I'm in the BulletCast Hall of Fame.
We should have a Hall of Fame. The people who write in for fan mail, they'll go in. We'll go in.
Me, you, and Hootie Hoo were the opening class.
Who main events, bro? You have the main event.
Hootie Hoo main events. Let's be honest.
I don't even know where that guy lives.
He'll Skype in.
Okay, cool.
He'll write an email, and we'll read it.
Like the anonymous Raw general manager.
Yes.
All right. Email us bulletcast2 is in the number 2 sweetest WET@gmail.com. 99.9 FM KW in Watsonville. iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, iHeartRadio. We're all over the damn place. We will be coming to you next week, either on Wednesday or Thursday. I do not know yet, but possibly next week I may have an interview for you guys. Stay tuned for that. This has been the BulletCast. Ta-ta for now.
This has been the BulletCast. Thank you for listening.